Right, so welcome back to Hook Boxing. Today we're joined by Brad Pauls, who's 18 wins, 10 knockouts, one loss, who fights Nathan Heaney very soon in March, 23rd of March. I am right in saying 16th of March. Oh my God, wrong fight. 16th of March for the British title and WBA Intercontinental, but British title was the main one. So I guess first question, always forget to do this, is actually from the last boxer I interviewed. And so it's just completely random, doesn't necessarily relate to anything, which is how do you try and inspire or help or in any way benefit sort of the younger people coming up in the sport?
When I visit Cornwall, I'd always go to my amateur clubs. So whether that's to do a session with them, hold pads, or whatever it might be, whichever club.
Yeah,
Something I didn't have when I was an amateur there. So I always visit the amateur clubs and try help out with some tips.
that's very good. I was slightly nervous when he said that question to me. I was like, oh, it's a good question, but if I'm asking somebody and they go, fuck, I don't do anything, I'm like, ah, shit, it's gonna be awkward.
No, I
So
do. Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad. No, I go around sparring the 12-year-olds and knocking them all out. That's what I know. That'd be really something. Let's just go straight into the big thing. Nathan Heaney. And I think
Yeah.
my main question with it is actually it's a bit of an odd one, but are you in any way struggling to motivate yourself to punch Nathan Heaney? Because I find he's really likable.
Yeah. Honestly, fully agree with you. I think he's a genuine nice guy. He's in some ways quite similar to myself. So we're probably more similar than we are different.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, it's never really personal for me. Boxing, it's a job. We've got a job to do. He might be a nice guy, and I'll shake his hand after and stuff. But
Yeah,
he's got something I want, and that is the British title. So it doesn't matter how nice he is, I'll do whatever I can to take it.
yeah. Do you
Yeah.
feel do you feel like it's because he's a bit of an odd one where I think most people, especially at Queensbury, don't think or wouldn't have thought, I can't remember when he fought Bentley, but last year, that this would be the fight now. So now he's kind of gone from the underdog to the favorite, but so quickly. Does that in a way sort of make you a bit more confident because you're kind of up against a guy that was meant to lose however many months ago?
Sort of. Yeah, I think I'm one of them guys who thought Heaney was going to lose to Bentley.
Yeah.
So I'll give him credit where it's due. And I know Bentley. I've sparred Bentley a few times. And I rate him very highly.
Mm.
But he needs the man who beat the man. So you can only go off someone's last performance. And coming off Heaney's last performance, he's the man at the minute. But similar situation where Heaney was the underdog against Bentley. I'm the underdog against Heaney. So
Yeah.
strange if it happened. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And what does it mean to not just fight on this kind of card, but with the sort of level of fighters that are you're in the main event? I mean, it's incredible for the guys that are under you as well. I mean, the whole thing is just that must mean so much.
yeah, it's crazy. Like coming from small hall, you don't get too many big names on your cards and stuff like that. So being on a card where main event with Olympic silver medalists on the
Mm.
undercard, it's quite surreal, but it adds a bit of fire in your belly. Like this is what it's about. Like winning big fights like this on nights like this, the venue's going to be sold out.
Yeah,
There's talent bottom to the top of the whole card. Um, and being part of it's amazing, but not just being part of it, I'll be part of it and want to win.
yeah, yeah. How much would it mean to win the British?
It's everything, man. I've talked about it for years, and I think it's just my perception of boxing. You get people who win belts, and there's sort of ways to get easy touches with certain belts, but not with the British. It's always a hard fight for the British. It's probably the most credible belt you can get. So yeah, it'll mean everything, and it no easy route to it. I've done the Southern area, I've done the English and the British to compete the
Yeah,
traditional is yeah, it means a lot to me. So yeah, it'd be great.
I think it is a common thing that a lot of people then it turns very rare that a lot of people that have the opinion in Britain, especially that the British title is their world title in terms of that is the one. But then obviously the people that actually make it to that British title is just very slim. But it's definitely it's a good looking belt as well. I've said that before. It's everything about it, man. And every British fight. Last week with Bellotti. Oh my god. But did you just sort of going back to talking about the kind of card and the level of fighters? Obviously, we've got like Joe Joyce, Liam Davis, Dennis McCann, yourself, Heaney, obviously, Solomon Dacre, like so much talent. But you've done a card similar, maybe a younger sort of prospect level talent when you did it, but with when you did lose to Tyler Denny. After that loss, did you ever think you'd then get back to this level of show? Maybe not. You probably had in your mind you might get back to this British title shot. Not that that last one was a title shot, but you know what I mean? Oh, that was an English title.
Yeah. I think that the whole experience and everything was just a necessary minor speed bump into where I was going to end up. I think eventually I was going to get a British title shot. It was just learning my lessons along the way. And I looking back and hindsight and stuff like that, but coming from small hall and then fighting in front of 5,000 live on Sky Sports, you can't be used to it from small hall. You just can't do it. So I'm glad I've had that experience, especially now I've got a British title shot in a similar situation. So, yeah, I think it all adds up and the world works in mysterious ways. So, yeah, lessons learned, but I think everything for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that Tyler Denny fight it was just sort of out of nowhere because it was Tyler Denny, if I'm remembering correctly, Tyler Denny kind of got a draw against, I can't remember. I can't remember who, but he beat Bradley Ray. Like he just sort of exploded and clearly they went, oh, right, okay, well, we need to get in a fight where they were like, let's keep him on. And then you got put in there. And obviously it's a great opportunity, but it's like so shock. His whole thing was just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's one of those ones like, it's funny how boxing works because I've won that same title now. But look at the person I had to box for it the first time. So that was probably the hardest touch for an English title you're going to get. Someone like Denny, if you look since then, he's carried on his winning streak. He's won the European. So it was Denny's quite good. So yeah, it was just a real tough fight for an English title, but one of those ones, lessons learned.
Yeah. We won't talk about that anymore. I just thought it was interesting that you've had this experience before and now we're going to almost the next level of that similar path. With Heaney, how do you want to beat him? Do you want to outbox him in his own game, or do you want to utilize your power, or both?
Both really. I think, like, being completely honest, I'm not stupid. I know what it's going to be like. It's in Birmingham, so his territory. He's going to have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 there. He's a home fighter on a Warren show. So if I leave it to outboxing and making it very close and just winning the rounds, I'm making it very difficult for myself. But for me, like, just by any means necessary, whatever it takes me to win, I'll do it. If I have to go to dark places and go in the trenches, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because there's just nothing I want more than the British title. So by any means necessary, if a knockout comes, absolutely. But if I have to just grind it out and win, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Do you think about what you were saying about being on a Warren card and Heaney's basically as close to home as you? Do you think you need a knockout?
Kind of, yeah. I think unless it's insanely one-sided, where there's a few knockdowns and there's no debate to it. Like, you've seen boxing before, like, you know how it works. You're sort of starting a couple rounds down when you're the UEFA fighter. So I know that going into the fight, and in these situations, it's what you've got to do. But yeah, and especially when you're fighting the champion, you've got to really take that belt from him. So yeah, you can't like make it close. It's got to be convincing.
It will be interesting because you sell quite a good amount of tickets as well. Obviously, Heaney's got his Stoke army, so it's kind of a Stoke versus Cornwall / Essex kind of event, which should be pretty bonkers.
Yeah, like I've still done all right considering it's in Birmingham and like it's not near anywhere.
Yeah,
I've still sold about 150 tickets, which is all right.
gotta
But
make noise.
in comparison, like he's gonna have sold 3,000 plus. And so I don't mind being the villain for the night. People boo me, whatever. I couldn't care less. It's all
Yeah,
so. Yeah, just I'm the villain for the night. I guess everyone's gonna be upset, but one of those ones.
yeah. Well, I think if I'm remembering it right, after the Bentley fight, they were all great sports towards Bentley. I mean, obviously he lost, but still, like, it seems that it's just once you get in the ring, and then after that, they're a lot more. They're quite nice. Well, they're just people, aren't they? They're normal people. But so I reckon nothing to worry about, which is easier for me to say because obviously I'm not walking in front of them when they're telling me to get to fucking shit like that. But you know,
I can't imagine it kicking off or anything. Like I think it'll be. It's all right. It's like a pantomime, innit? You have the good guy, you have the bad guy. It's just my turn to be the bad guy for the night. I don't mind.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. One thing I was sort of slightly wanting to ask, obviously, when Bentley and Heaney fought, there was never going to be a rematch because it was so one-sided when what people thought. I'm assuming there's no rematch clause for this, but if you were to win, it would be a surprise if they let you go easily and didn't say, no, we want you coming back. Is there anything like that? Has that been discussed at all?
Once I win, I'll be on Warren shows for the foreseeable for a couple of fights.
Wow. That's good.
Yeah, that's already predetermined, which is cool. I'll win the British. I'll defend it against the Warren fighter and another fight after. And that's the situation. But yeah, so me and Frank are going to be good mates by the looks of
it. Yeah. Well, hopefully. But
yeah.
So we'll talk. We will talk about this. I was kind of thinking I'll see how you are, but you're very confident, which is to be expected. But I'm thinking we'll just talk after you win the British. What do you want to do? Because like you say, that is your ultimate goal. So what comes next?
I think, like I was saying, it's already sort of predetermined that I will defend it and it will be on a Warren show. And then I'll have to defend it again, which will be on a Warren show. Yeah. And it's a stacked division, like who boxed the other night, Shiraz.
Oh yeah.
And then Bentley's still about. There's no shortage of middleweights in this country to make some fights. So yeah, plenty of options. But for me, like just Heaney. So all I'm thinking is just Heaney.
Yeah, that's the thing. Asking people what they think about after the fight, before the fight's happened, I think is it's a bit stupid. I don't really like it when I see people do it, but I feel the need to, you know. But, is a Tyler Denny rematch? You've won the British. Obviously, Denny is now European level, but I feel like British holds more credibility personally, or at the very least, it's more iconic. Is that always going to be on your mind, or have you let it go?
Yeah, no, I think that'd be it'd be lovely, wouldn't it, to avenge my only loss and get a massive belt on the way. I'm sure Denny would love a shot at the British. But yeah, down the line, definitely. Obviously, it'd have to be in a few fights' time. A lot can change in that time, but absolutely, it's something I'd entertain. Yeah,
I think in terms of like your future, obviously, if you win, it's like there's just no end to what could happen, really, in terms of the big fights, the TV nights. Yeah, this fight alone is just like something to tell your grandkids about, really. Just again, the level of fighters just on the undercard is like, and then oh my god, it's pretty amazing. And then it's the fact you're like small hall Goodwin guy, and then it's pretty cool. It's very very cool.
Yeah, man, I'm excited.
Are you at all nervous?
I suppose there's a little extra spring in my step, extra fire in my belly. Like I understand it's going to be the most hostile, the biggest platform, the biggest accolade of my career. But And it's the thing, yeah, there'll be some nerves there, of course. Wouldn't be human if there was no nerves, but it's all familiar. It's a boxing ring at the end of the day, and it's something I've done a lot of times in my life. So
Yeah.
yeah, the extra spring in my step, to be honest, the excitement.
Mm. Do you think when you started, well, professionally boxing, when you made your debut in 2015, do you think you would have thought you would have got here to this level, like to this point in your career in 8, 9 years' time? Obviously, COVID is in the middle, but
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, I suppose if you look back then, what did I really know? Like, I knew nothing about the pro game. I knew you have ambition, but nothing's guaranteed. So you just go with the hope that it would end up like this, and
yeah,
it's not happened overnight. Like you said, like I've been pro 8, 9 years, and it's I had to take my time,
yeah,
and I thought if in my mind, I think if I graft my ass off and keep discipline, something's got to happen. Like you're gonna get there slower or eventually or whichever way. But if you
yeah,
keep going, something's got to happen. So yeah, it took a while. I'm 30 years old now, so it's about time I start getting the opportunities and the accolades.
yeah. Not old though, to be fair. 30 isn't that old
Yeah,
for, it's kind of a good age, really. I mean, you're more mature than you were when you were 21, 22 starting out. So
yeah, and it's
kind of worked out.
I feel like the absolute best I've ever felt, and I think with some fighters and weight categories make a difference. I think middleweights you're good until 34, 35, and it's how you live as well. Like, I don't drink, haven't drank for 19 months, barely drank anyway. All I do is train. So in terms of
Mm,
longevity, I'd be able to go as long as I possibly can. So yeah, I've got plenty of years left in me yet. Still, I'm good.
yeah. I mean, I'll ask, but again, it's a little bit like what you can do after the fight. How many years do you reckon you will be fighting for?
Good question. For me, honestly, I think I've got another 2, 3 years in me. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to move back to Cornwall, start a family, don't I? So I can't do that in Essex, and if I'm in
mm.
Cornwall, I can't. So I think I'll do another 2 or 3 years, and then I'm gonna knock it on the head. I'm gonna go start a family in Cornwall. So that's my
Decent.
plan.
Well,
Yeah,
that's interesting. So, are you going to completely walk away from boxing, or do you like just
yeah.
completely? Yeah,
I'll coach and stuff like that. But I've boxed since I was 10 years old. I moved away when I was from Cornwall when I was 18. For the only reason being boxing, and I've literally gave my whole entire adult life to it. And life moves on, and I'll be 32, 33. About time I start settling down and having kids. So can't do it
yeah,
forever. It's a short. So I'll get what I can out of it, get all the belts I can, and sail off into the sunset in Cornwall, sunny old
yeah.
Cornwall.
Cornwall's nice, man. It's really nice. Best
Yeah,
part of England, I reckon.
it is beautiful.
Got
It's
to be up
beautiful.
there.
Lovely. Yeah, yeah. Not good for boxing, but good for to chill.
Yeah, yeah. Would you ever want one of your kids to box?
Absolutely, all of them will box.
All of them. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's nothing that will teach a kid more discipline and self-respect and every beneficial quality in life than combat sport.
yeah,
That's my opinion. So whether boy, girl, whatever, they're going to box, whether they compete at a high level or whatever, but they will learn it
yeah.
definitely.
It's
Which
good,
I
man. Might
sound
have
like
some.
I'm going to be a horrible parent. I want to be a
Yeah, I
doctor
can.
or something.
It's got like a sweatshop of boxers just waiting for
Yeah,
the really
they can
talented
make
one.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
10%.
Um, yeah, just in the future, we'll see like 12 pools. The pool
Yeah,
show. We'll see which
yeah,
one. One of them does well. The rest, oh no, got to get sacked off.
not
Back to
like me, but
Cornwall.
right, yeah.
Right. My final question is: can you come up with a question for the next interview? Can be
For
absolutely
the
anything.
yeah, for the next year. Let me have a little think. Um, so it's got to be boxing related, yeah.
No, it can be anything.
Um, if you were starting your career over again, what advice would you give yourself?
I like that one. It's good.
Yeah, a bit of hindsight, but
Yeah.
yeah, all good.
All right. I really appreciate this. Really appreciate your time.
Mate, all good, Connor. Just tag me up, whatever you want, and I'll share it, whatever you
Yep.
need.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Do you want to shout out any sponsors or anything? I completely forgot about
I posted about them the other day. Check my Instagram. They're the
that.
best
Yep.
people in the world. Big love to everyone who supports. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. Thank you very much.